Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I wanted to do a summer makeup look, but something very easy, something that I personally would wear during the summertime. I also wanted to mention that the products that I will be using today are going to be pretty much affordable. I know that affordable is kind of a relative term, but in my opinion, I will be using the affordable products, so nothing high-end or anything like that. I just feel that a lot of times on YouTube, especially in the beauty community, a lot of makeup right now is very just like high-end, very expensive. So I wanted to do a little take on a summer look and just do something more affordable for you guys and just something very easy, something that I personally would wear during the summer. How many times can I say summer in this video? I don't know. So yeah, if you guys are interested, keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this tutorial, I suppose. I'm giving you guys a nice, close, and personal right now. I'm starting off, this is disgustingly gross right now, but I'm using the Milani Prime Perfection. I will be using quite a bit of Milani products, if I'm not mistaken, in this video, because Milani is one of my favorite drugstore brands, in my opinion. I know that it can be kind of hard to find for some people, but if you have like a Fred Meyer near you, and I think that even some like CVS's sell it, so it is a drugstore product, but I know that like Ulta doesn't sell it. So yeah, if you can get your hands on Milani in a store, that's awesome, but if you can't get your hands on Milani in the store, then they do have a website. So going in for foundation, I do really like the Milani foundation. I'll do kind of like a drugstore foundation favorites video for you guys, but that one is really heavy, so I like the coverage in that one when I want more full coverage. But honestly, during the summertime, I don't like super full coverage foundations, so I am going in with this one right here. This is the e.l.f. what is this? The e.l.f. foundation with a pump. I don't know the name of this foundation. This one is in the color Sand, and then I also have it in the color Porcelain. This is a really affordable drugstore foundation. The only downside to this foundation is that it's the color selection's absolutely horrible. And during the summertime, I don't really like to use super full coverage foundations. Recently, I haven't been using a brush to apply my foundation anyway, but typically during the summertime, I like to use a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge. You don't need to buy a beauty blender. But I like to use these just because it kind of absorbs the product a little bit more, and it gives it much more of like a natural kind of like a dewy finish, versus brushes typically are a little bit more full coverage. So if you guys have watched my previous videos, you guys know that I use the Real Technique one all the time, pretty much all the time. If you guys are looking for a full coverage foundation, this isn't the one. You can build it up, but I will be honest with you guys, it's not full coverage, but I don't think that it claims to be full coverage. So if you guys are cool with that, check it out. But I mainly like it for the SPF. When it's summertime, I'm outside quite a lot, so I forget to sometimes put sunscreen on my face, so it is kind of nice when your makeup has sunscreen in it. At least it is for me. I'm in a different area today, if you guys again noticed that from my previous videos, because Michael, my best friend, and my boyfriend are having like a video game marathon right now. So I was like, I don't want them screaming profanity in the background of my videos because I don't curse. Still see like acne scars. I don't really have any breakouts to show you right now, but you can see like the acne scars and everything like that, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. Right now I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. Something that you definitely want to set. It's not a concealer that you can just kind of pop on and be done with your day, so you will want to set this concealer. Like, I have not been wearing a lot of makeup recently, you guys. I don't know if it's just like, I just haven't been feeling it. I don't know if I just haven't been motivated. I've also kind of been on like a makeup no buy recently because I was saving up for my trip, which I did a video on. So if you wanted to see the vlog of my road trip to Yellowstone, I'll link that down below for you guys. But I just haven't really, there's a hair on my chin. I just haven't really been wearing much makeup, so it's kind of nice to just like sit down and talk to you guys about makeup that I haven't worn in a while. Okay, Coty Airspun powder. You can find this at Walmart. You can find this at any drugstore. I think it's anywhere between like $5 to $7, and I'm just using that to set my concealer. I'm not going to set my whole face with it because it is a very mattifying loose powder. Okay, moving on to eyebrows next. I'm going to be using the Milani. It's like a little dip brow, almost like a pomade for your eyebrows. And I believe this one is in the shade Natural Taupe, not Blonde. And it looks just like this guy right here. I actually really like this one, you guys. I'm gonna move my mirror right here because eyebrows are difficult. So using an angled brush, I'm just gonna kind of lightly just start outlining my eyebrow. I'm just going very lightly. Don't wanna go too heavy-handed with the eyebrows. Again, we're kind of going more for like the natural look, so I don't want like boxed, cubey eyebrows. And then I'm using just like, I think this is an Anastasia Beverly Hills angled brush, but the Milani one does actually come with a brush. So now that once I kind of have the shape that I'm looking for, I can always kind of thicken them up if I want to, but I don't like going too thick right off the bat because I feel like that's typically when I start messing up my eyebrows. So I'll kind of just go along the natural shape of them first. And then if they're looking a little thin and I want to thicken them up, I can thicken them up a little bit on the top, but I don't want to start off with a shape that's just like too overwhelming. Very light hair-like strokes, and I'm just kind of filling in the area. And I'm just going to kind of keep repeating that until I get to the color and the shape that I like. But I think that I'm just going to kind of keep it like that. So you can see this one's filled in, this one's not filled in. Okay, so next we're going to jump into eyes because I'm keeping the eye look very, very minimal today. I'm going to be dipping into the Makeup Revolution London Iconic Pro palette. I know that I swatched this palette like with my fingers, but I didn't actually ever use them. So this is the palette here, and I'm really just going to be focusing on like these three kind of nude shades right here. We're really not doing anything fancy, you guys, so bear with me here. So dipping into this shade here, it's almost like a peachy shade. There's a lot of fallout on this palette too, so do just keep that in mind. And I'm just gonna kind of start setting that kind of just like all over the lid. And you don't have to be perfect with this or anything, because we're just gonna kind of buff it out at the end. Or if you don't put like an eye primer on your eyes or anything, if you don't have an eye primer, like I said, you can just use powder and a concealer. So that's what I did, because I don't have a drugstore eye primer. So, okay, this one right here, and I'm just kind of going in with just like a fluffy crease blush. And I'm just gonna kind of just bring this into the crease because I'm pretty much just gonna be using this to deepen up the crease. I'm not looking to do like a crazy awesome eye look. You totally can if you want to, but like I said, I'm trying to keep today's look just kind of very minimal. Something that to me is realistic for the summertime. So it's easy to wear to like work or to like a barbecue or something. So I'm not going to be going like too crazy or anything. So I'm literally just building this up to build some definition into the crease. So you can be messy with it as long as you start blending it in. You should be fine. Then I'm just taking the fluffier end and I'm just going to be lightly going over the top of the crease just to kind of blend it out here. You don't really want any harsh lines. So I'm very, very, very lightly using the brush around the edges to just kind of blend it out. Just like that. Honestly, you don't even need to use like a palette for this. You can just use like a bronzer shade. I've done that before. I've literally just used bronzer as an eyeshadow. The reason why I'm doing this is just so like my face doesn't look super flat. I do like to have some definition on my eyes, even if I'm not having like a crazy eye look. To me, it just kind of brings the whole look together. I'm gonna take that color just a tiny bit again, and I'm just going into the outer crease like right here. And I'm just gonna kind of in circular motions, just kind of give that more depth on the sides. If you are someone who's just getting into eyeshadow too, this is just like a perfect technique where you just take these lighter colors and you just kind of buff it out into your crease. And the key to eyeshadow is blending. These are not the best eyeshadows that I've used. I will throw that out there right now. This is the first time that I've used them. It's not that they're extremely hard to blend out. I just noticed that like once you kind of blend it out, the pigment doesn't really stick there. So it's not the best eyeshadow in the world, but that's okay. That's totally fine. Because if you're doing such a simple look like this, you don't need the best eyeshadows in the world. Then what I like to do is I'm gonna take that darker shade one more time, and I'm gonna take kind of like a flatter brush like this, and I'm just gonna kind of lightly go underneath my eye. So just very, very simple. That's like the best way that I can put it. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm just taking the lighter like cream color shade right there at the bottom of the palette, and I'm just going to kind of mix that there. And I'm just going to dab this into like the inner corners of my eye, just to kind of brighten and highlight. What I'm doing now is I'm going in with a highlight, and I am using the ColourPop highlight in the color Lunch Money. It looks like this here. I have like a brush hair stuck in there right now, so don't mind that. But it looks like this, and it's almost kind of like a putty texture. Like it's not like a cream, but it's like a putty. That's like the best way that I can explain it. And I just got it everywhere. But what I do is I found that I actually don't like applying this with a brush. I actually just like using my fingers. And I am doing this because I did not set my face yet. So I'm just gonna kind of dab this where I would just kind of naturally have a glow. And I like this because it's not a cream highlight, but it's not a powder. So it's very easy to just kind of manipulate it the way that you want to. It doesn't really cling to like any patches or anything like that, at least that I've noticed. But it just gives like a very just kind of natural glow. So I'm just gonna kind of put that all over. Ta-da! Super easy. And I'm just gonna go in with a Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I'm just very, very lightly just gonna kind of pat this into my skin. I don't want to be like super powdery. I'm just doing it just to kind of keep my foundation in place. But I don't want it to be super duper heavy. Now I'm gonna be going in with bronzer, and I'm using my e.l.f. bronzer here. This guy looks like this. Starting on my forehead. So I like to have just like that very glowy look to my skin, and just minimal eyes. If you are someone that's new to makeup, or you just want a really more affordable option, I highly recommend e.l.f. I feel like it used to be a really underrated company, and I feel like a lot of their products were very hit or miss. But if you haven't tried their stuff out yet, or if you just haven't tried it out recently, I highly recommend picking up some e.l.f. products. I don't like to go just hardcore, dip my brush into the bronzer, let's go. I like to really take my time building up the bronzer, because if you put a little bit too much, I find that it's harder to work with. So just kind of take it in steps, especially if you are a little bit intimidated with bronzer. For blush today, honestly, I don't really even want to really dip into a blush, and I don't have a blush brush around me, so I'm just going to reuse this. But I'm just going to lightly go in with the e.l.f. darker blush palette, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's pigmented. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my mascara, and today I'm using the CoverGirl Total Tease mascara. It's a funky looking tube that looks like this. And what's even funkier is the brush, if you guys haven't seen it yet. It looks just like a normal brush, but then if you flip it up, it has like a little bulbous tumor. I think it looks like a tumor, but anyway. So that is the mascara that I'm going to be using today, and let's just kind of get into it. If you guys have, yeah, you can like see this tumor. I don't use it. I don't know what it is. It just looks like a little growth in my opinion. Okay, you guys, so mascara is on, and now we're just gonna kind of go into lips, and we should be done. So for the lipstick, this is like my thing during the summertime. I love just like really bright lips during the summertime. I just think that they're beautiful. So I'm going in with a red, and it's a really nice just summer red. And this is Milani in the shade Red Label.
lipstick on my teeth.
Okay guys, so that wraps up today's look using all drugstore makeup products. If you guys like this, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you guys want to see more videos of me using drugstore makeup. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I seriously appreciate all of you guys taking time to watch me. That's pretty cool. So yes, subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!